everybody. Welcome back to Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center. Today, I have a very special guest with us, Victor of Victory Breathing. And I want you guys just take a second, take a deep breath, and lean in. Just lean in. Because I will tell you, the very first conversation I ever had with Victor, it was like being drawn in to a light, like a moth, like a beautiful moth, obviously, but like a moth into this light. And Victor has this way of doing that. And he even mentioned right before the show that he's 6'7". And when he walks into a room, everybody does that because he emanates. And I love that light. So I want you all to just let everything go, lean in, and let yourself kind of ride the wave of the next few minutes. Right, Victor?
Absolutely. I mean, you are all in for a treat because you've got two emotional solar plexus wave riders with you right now. And let us tell you that we know a thing or two about riding that emotional wave, riding that energetic wave, and just coming back to our breath, coming back into our bodies, coming back into this space. So yeah, thank you so much for having me here, Mary. I mean, I will always remember the first chit chat that we had because I think that was the first time that both of us felt so naturally activated by one another that we were like, oh my God, like what? I don't even know where to start with all the topics and all the different ways that we can go with this discussion. So yeah, I'm glad that we were able to make it, live and in video format and, here for others to see and listen and tune into.
It's been a few months in the making, but I like that you said the emotional wave rider because Victor is actually a Cancer moon, if I'm correct. I'm a Cancer rising. So while you may not see me being emotional out there, it's there somewhere.
Well, I can say the same thing too, right? Because I actually had a great astrological friend and she's going deep into diving and learning about all the astrological magic and goodness in this reality. She was reminding me that, not everyone sees our moon sign. And I was venting to her about how, I have so much Taurus and Aries and Sagittarius and even Scorpio, like all these like fiery and like more activated archetypes within me. Not a lot of people see that Cancer emotional side of me, right? And she was reminding me, she's like, yeah, because it's your loved ones, it's your close friends, it's the people that see the depths of you. Those are the people that are like seeing that moon sign of yours. So, she was also reminding me too, like, if you are really wanting to like connect with someone, look at their moon sign, or if you're looking for compatibility, like look at their moon sign, right? And like look at like where, how they wear their emotions, how they go through their emotions. But yes, love the Cancerian energy. Sad that we're not in Cancer season anymore, but happy to be, finishing off this year strong with all kinds of energy.
And that's interesting because on an emotional level, meaning my moon sign, I'm Capricorn. So I am a lot of daddy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I got a lot of that maternal energy, right? You got a lot of that daddy Capricorn energy. Love it. Love it.
So guys, Victor does a bunch of different things. Jack of all trades here. And like we're talking coaching, sonic neural breath work. He also, and you can tell them about this kind of stuff if you want to, but he's also a high impact. He has this high impact healer tribe. He does meditations. And on the link that I've included in the description for Victory Breathing, this is where he does yoga, Ayurvedic nutrition, human design, and you do gene codes as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So aside from all the holistic stuff, I am a multidisciplinary artist as well, photographer and painter background. So I have that, visual, artistic, creative side 100% all the time, all day, every day. And then with all the healing modalities that I do, it ranges from mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit. I mean, I started with yoga. I've gone into Ayurvedic nutrition, meditation, and energy work has always been at play in between studying all of that over the last decade. going into breath work and further trauma release and trauma informed training and healing. It's really connected a lot of my modalities, the physical ones like yoga, the more spiritual ones like meditation. Studying human design recently and coming up as well. I've got an exciting advanced course coming up, but it's something that I've been aware of for like years. It's just something I've really been harnessing a lot more and helping integrate it into my coaching strategies and into the different ways that I'm able to coach people with their bodies, with energy, nutrition, physical, etc., somatic practices. But the human design, we're getting on we're going beyond the energetic and we're getting on a genetic level. Human design is made up of multiple systems, but I Ching, the Chinese book of changes, and the gene keys, two very powerful and strong elements in human design, especially when we're talking about those gates and the gate transits happening cosmically and the genes that we are all coded with, our genetic coding. So, in a nutshell, yes, I am a well-rounded facilitator and practitioner and healer of multiple trades. And that link that Mary was just referencing is where you can see my local events here in South Florida and elsewhere. I am expanding slowly, so stay tuned. Stay tuned as to where else I'm going to end up next. I do love traveling, so I'm not really against, going to other places of the world as well. And it's also where you can see my other links, where you can catch my meditations, where you can catch my YouTube journey, where you can catch my my high impact healer tribe, where we're forever expanding, adding healers to our tribe, giving them the training and the resources and the techniques and the tools to spread their impact and to just continue this beautiful ripple effect of healing that many of us are a part of, in this interconnected, beautiful reality and world that we live in.
That's such an important thing. It really is. And even how we connected, and maybe that'll go a little further at some point. I want to dive deeper into some of that design and coding, because I know that you use a lot of that, but not everyone has studied that. Not everybody knows what that is. But before I go into that, I just want to plug this. If you guys click the link, so the link that I've got in this description has all of his different links in it, and he has his mind, body, soul on there. If you go to his body, I'm just letting you guys know you're going to see some itty bitty teeny weeny red bikinis. Pose, Victor. Where's your 6'7" self? Give us a pose.
Yeah. Giving you my best blue steel. Is that what you're asking for? So yes, she's spot on too. I do have a background in the fashion and entertainment industries as well. It has a day has not gone by where I have not loved showcasing my love for myself, for my body, and also helping others and reminding others just how powerful that relationship is. The relationship we have to our own bodies, to ourselves. And you, Mary, I know understand this too, in terms of identity and self-identity and knowing who the hell we are as individuals and in our personal realms, because both you and I and many others out there have a wonderful connection to our identity centers in our human design body graph, a great connection to our inner selves, a great connection to our bodies. And yes, if you go to the link page, you will see my more body oriented Instagram, where you will see my blue steel, my steel abs, and maybe even my booty. But I
was looking at your links one day. My husband was next to me, and I was like, "Oh goodness!"
Yeah,
and I
right.
It off for a second, and he was like, "I don't mind."
Like, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I stand for, I am proud to be the man that I am, but I stand for all people whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever category or label that you want to put on yourself. I stand for all people, connecting and reforming and healing that relationship to your body and to yourself and to the possibilities that come with that. If we're creating that reality where we're digesting or ingesting the things that are not good for our bodies on an energetic level, on a physical level, on whatever kind of level, we're perpetuating that in our lives and our existences, right? If everything is energy, if we are telling our bodies, if we're telling our universe, our reality, that we're okay with settling with nonsense and digesting, whether it be nonsense information or digesting food that, really isn't good for you or has the ingredients that's actually poisoning you, we are perpetuating that. Like, we are also the sole creators of our lives, of our realities. So it's also very in alignment with Ayurvedic studies and Ayurvedic nutrition and just nutrition in general, just paying attention to, how we are digesting things, but also how we are putting things into our bodies, right?
Well, let's go deeper into that while we're here. The Ayurvedic nutrition, can you explain like how that's different or what it focuses on? Because I believe you only eat meat. Is that what you said?
So I am a carnivore, but that I don't mean that in a sense where I only eat meat, because I am a huge fan of yogurt, of fruits, of I do follow doctors and nutritionists who are on that carnivore diet of like the raw dairy, the red meat, the no veggies, the fruit, as your form of like sugar or what have you. And I find a lot of value in what they stand for, because I admit, like, I still eat certain vegetables. I still eat like certain, I don't know, nuts or seeds, but even though like I've stepped away from seed oils maybe, but I still have these other parts that are like mushrooms. Like, I love mushrooms, like and they're, more of a fungus, but like my point is that I have a really well-rounded diet and nutrition kind of built in, I feel like, already into my body and my system. Like, my body knows like what it needs or wants, and like I think most of our bodies like have a pretty good radar of like what's going to make it sick or what is going to make it healthier, right? Even though sometimes it doesn't always make sense, but it's part of our journey to explore that and figure that out. But the most beautiful and biggest difference, I would say, between Ayurvedic nutrition or Eastern ideologies of nutrition versus the Western world's nutrition studies is that Ayurvedic will always be more of an energetic perspective of nutrition. First and foremost, Ayurvedic nutrition believes in the energy in everything, and that everything is energy, and that is all playing into effect, affecting your life in a plethora of different ways. And Western nutrition focuses a lot more on like calorie intake, or numbers and statistics for the nutrients or the different vitamins or what have you in our bodies. And beyond that, one of the wildest things to me in terms of how those different nutrition perspectives differ is the timing of digestion. Ayurvedic nutrition teaches that digestion, the process of digestion starts before the food even touches your mouth. And when we think about it, we're like, yes, there are a lot of systems already happening when we just think of food, when we just visualize in our minds, what we're going to eat tonight. Our mouths are already salivating. Our bodies are already preparing for the digestion process. The Western world teaches that when the food touches your tongue, when the food enters your mouth, that's when the digestion process starts. And so it's really such a small, difference, but it's really teaching us and showing us that it's like, wow, there's like this physical, like physical touch perspective, and then there's this energetic, like invisible perspective, and it's like both can be true, both are valid, I think, and both are very accurate for describing the digestion process, the flow of nutrition in our lives, our relationships with our food and with our bodies. But that's the difference, right? It's like energetic versus physical, or it's like what I can see versus what's invisible.
I love that. In fact, there's something about the senses, or even breatharians know this, that you can absorb nutrients and energy from things around you. I think it was just yesterday I had eaten some korma for lunch, which is an Indian dish. And my husband came in later and he's like, I wish it always smelled like this in the house.
Right.
He just kept walking, but there was like something homey and calming just about the aromatic spices and things like that in it. Is there a connection in Ayurvedic nutrition of how you should be eating in accordance to like your personal body and your personal energy, and like how do you find that?
Yeah, so there are multiple ways to really dive deep into your doshas and your dosha systems. But beyond that, Ayurvedic actually has several systems within itself to help guide you on like the ideal times to eat, the ideal temperature to eat, the ideal season, even the ideal, combination of textures or sensations. It's all about senses as well. I mean, we also know that from human design, the power of our senses on all different levels. And when we think about, our senses, even, it's like, I think each of us inherently too understand already which of our senses like we have a stronger or deeper connection with, right? Like me, for example, for whatever reason, I can smell my baby blanket right now. Like it's weird, but like I have this like clair alience, I think it's what it's called, where it's like, the sense of the nose is very on that clairvoyant scale. And it's fascinating when we really start paying attention to what we inherently already kind of maybe know or understand about our bodies, but also learn further, especially through these Ayurvedic practices where you're like, okay, like I think we have all of the dosha energies within us, all three, like kapha, pitta, and vata. Just like we have all the astrological archetypes within us, we have all the human design energy types within us. It's some are more active and some are more dormant, or some are, we have more of others than what have you. And that's what it's like in Ayurvedic nutrition as well with doshas, because each dosha fits into like multiple elements. Like it fits into multiple times of the year. We have the different seasons, and we have these different doshas playing into effect. So it's all about like, this is what I help people with too, because we have these nice calculators online too. And so people are able to input like all of their lifestyle behaviors and choices and what they're already kind of like eating, or maybe like, choosing. And then we have these calculators similar to like, natal chart calculators or human design body graphs to help see which of the doshas are a little bit more activated within us. And then it's all about finding the opposite texture, the opposite energy, or the opposite like temperature even, to balance that dosha. And so we never, like, if we have a lot of pitta energy in us, and pitta is fire and water, and pitta is like peak summer solstice season. It's hot, it's fiery, it's not dry, but like warm and even wet, like hot and wet, right? Because we've got fire and water. How do we balance that? We balance that with cooling foods. We balance that with cooling energies, with ways to subdue that fire almost even. So it's like if you have a lot of pitta energy within you, or if it's peak pitta season, like peak of summer solstice, you're going to want to pay attention to balancing out that dosha with cooler items, with more watery items, right? Or with, things that are going to be cooling that intense pitta. If you're fueling it, you're going to experience things like burnout, nausea, different ailments in the body, different signals being like, you're just adding fire to the fire. Like you're eating a lot of spicy and fiery foods when you have a lot of pitta and a lot of the fire already in you. You should have something more cooling to, to tone it down. So you're absolutely spot on to already start thinking about it, in those ways, because Ayurvedic studies are able to help figure out those ideal times of the day for you to be eating, those ideal food textures or food energies to be eating, or what have you. I mean, helping that energetic exchange, helping that energetic interaction, right, is what Ayurveda is all about.
I need to look into that, because that actually sparked a memory in my mind where I feel like a year or two ago, I took some little quiz. I'm not sure why I did this, but I'm pretty sure it said that my major energy was the pitta. And so I didn't know where to go after that. So I completely forgot that I even took that little quiz. But I do notice that I'm remembering, like, while you're talking, I do notice that a lot of those foods, those hot, spicy foods and things like that, I don't handle spice very well.
There you go.
And it makes me very tired. But I do know in the summer, and I love the summer solstice. We do our retreats on the summer solstice. I lean more towards fruits. I really like fruits and water and things like that, or even salads versus heavier meats or soups. Or
there you go. Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So how does this play into human design? Because it feels like these all kind of layer on top of each other to make a whole healthy person.
Totally. And well, that's the beauty of this life, the multi-layeredness of it, the multidimensionality of it all, the fact that there is a lot of overlap and there is a lot of connection. It's all happening on a biological and genetic level too. And what I mean by that is that these energies are at play. We know energetic magnetism, whether you want to look at it as law of attraction or, pheromones going off and us just like having compatibility with people or energetically connecting with people. We know energetic magnetism to be happening on a quantum physics level. Like we know this to be science, and we know this to be happening even if we can't see those energies at play. And so where Ayurvedic nutrition or Ayurveda, just generally speaking, can teach us about the energies of this world, the energies within our body and outside of our bodies, human design can take us even further and almost put like, definitions or understandings alongside those genetic and energetic unravelings, and the different systems. For those that don't know, human design is made up of multiple systems. So it's got the I Ching, the Chinese Book of Changes. This is an ancient text about our genes, connecting our genes to personality traits, behaviors, like emotions, like things that we experience as human beings that has been passed down and understood and like continuously dissected to help us understand why we behave in certain ways and why are we connecting with certain people in certain ways and like why this is happening on a genetic level. So the modern day has modernized the I Ching with the gene keys. So for those that are not familiar with the I Ching, you may have heard of the gene keys, and the gene keys really goes into the same premise as the I Ching. We've got the Kabbalistic tree of life in human design. We've got astrology, Eastern and Western astrology. So, we're taking the planets into account. We're taking star systems and how things were mapped out cosmically when you were born, when you came into this life. Quantum physics, biology, and the chakra system. Human design also encompasses the chakra system because we're talking about these centers in the body, these chakras in the body, these energy bodies and things connected to our organs, connected to our genes, connected to our nervous system and fascia and, entire anatomical bodily systems. And it's for me, it's such a profoundly useful and fascinatingly curious pile of systems because it's not forcing us to live in any kind of way. It's not telling us, oh, well, this is how you are, so this is how it has to be. It's simply showcasing for you what is inside of you on a genetic or energetic or biological level and giving you the tools to potentially really live out to your highest potential or best abilities. It's really just giving you tools. I love human design for its ability to give me all these things to consider in maybe certain behaviors that I have, in certain strategies that I may have internally built in me or that I may be coming to a certain conclusion with, or how to just engage and interact with people. Understanding energetic magnetism, I think, is at the foundation of it all, because when we have hanging gates in our human design body graph, and what I mean by that is half of a channel. So when we have half of a channel in our body graph, we have a hanging gate, and most of us have many hanging gates. Those hanging gates create a genetic magnetism where we see it happening when we're interacting with people and connecting with them on ways that we just can't explain. We're like, wow, I'm really bonding with this person. I'm really clicking in some kind of way. It's potentially a channel being born. It's two hanging gates coming together to form a channel. And so it's this energetic magnetism that's just happening all the time, in our reality, in this world, as we're going out there, interacting with people. And that's what I just find so profound and so fascinating for everyone to just, if you're curious about it, I highly recommend connecting with me because I'm able to really, really just help you understand yourself even more. And who doesn't want that? If you're not curious to find out more things about you, then you've just stagnated yourself in your life and you're doing that to yourself. But
you would make a lovely Leo, darling.
Oh, my MC is in Leo. I have a lot of Leo energy for sure in me.
So, and I think that's your your career drive.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That midheaven space.
Yes.
So, I'd like to get a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Because there have been certain things that you have said where you, like me, are like this. And I have a feeling it's because you already pulled my human design chart.
Correct.
So I don't know anything about it, but you do. But you use a lot of terms in your coaching and in your advertising, generator and things like that. And these are human design terms, correct?
Correct.
What are those terms?
Sure. So human design splits society up into 5 energy types. Okay. And we have generators and manifesting generators let's just say at the front line, at the forefront, because you guys, and I say this because, Mary, you are a manifesting generator, for those that don't know this out there. Generators and mani-gens make up 70% of society. They are like the foundation and the framework of society. They're almost considered like the busy bees or the workers, but that's not to say that they're like meant to only work. They are just simply like a big workforce of society. And between them, it's, 35% of society are generators and 35% are manifesting generators.
Right.
From there, we go to projectors. Projectors make up a much smaller percentage of society. They are a non-energy type versus generators and manifesting generators that have a lot more energy within them inherently because of their design type being that workforce or that energy or battery of society. And projectors are a non-energy type. So we just have a limited, I say we because I am a projector, we have a limited resource of energy. And we are a rarer energy type in this structure of a system. After that, we have manifestors, even more rare, and they're like the trailblazers, the initiators. They're all about, I'm going to give a good analogy in a second, but I just want to finish listing off the energy types. But manifestors are these like trailblazers and like initiators, and then reflectors are the rarest energy type. And it's like when you meet a reflector, it's like you're getting your entire reality like reflected back to you. They are wonderful mirrors for us. They're very connected to the lunar cycle, and they are just extremely rare, wonderful gems. I like to look at them as in our reality. And a wonderful analogy, or a little comparison to kind of help you understand the structure of the energy types a little bit more, is to think of life as a movie. So when you think of life as a movie, this makes manifestors the director. Manifestors are a non-energy type similar to projectors. Like they don't have this wildly built-in powerful battery energy force that generators and manifesting generators have. However, they are the initiators and they don't have to ask for permission. So they're just supposed to like go with their plan and like let people know by informing them, but like initiate it. Like don't ask for permission. Hence why they are the director. So they are, throwing the shots, calling the shots on the movie set called life. And this makes generators the actors. Generators are the ones reading the script and like performing, lighting up the movie as the star of the show. This makes manifesting generators half director, half actor. So like co-director and co-actor, because many gens have a beautiful combination of generator energy and manifestor energy. So it's like you have like, it's the multitasker. It's the person that pivots and is able to like handle, maybe multiple hats or multiple things. You are co-director and actor. You're able to like perform multiple roles. Or generally speaking, that's not to speak for all Manny gens, because unlike you, unlike you, some Manny gens don't have the energy that you have. Like it's interesting to be like learning about a lot of different people's body graphs, because you really can have like an infinite amount of combinations or like, differences or similarities, like even with similar energy types. Going on about that analogy where life is a movie, this makes projectors the actual projector, projecting the movie. Essentially, like projectors do light up the room. Like when we walk in, we have these very penetrating auras and we do attract people in, but we have to be invited in for a lot of things. Like in order to truly succeed, projectors need to wait for an invitation in order for someone to be like seeking them out for their wisdom or like for major decisions. Like if a major job, like if I'm going around chasing my money or chasing for a job or chasing my relationships or just going around like projecting my wisdom, I'm going to come off as like a know-it-all, or I'm going to like retract people because people are going to be like, who is this guy? He's coming on way too strong. But when I simply turn my lighthouse light on, I turn my projector light on, like turn on the movie, that's how I attract those invitations in. I just have to speak my truth, like turn on my light, do what lights me up, and I'm going to attract all those divine invitations for myself. So I never look at projectors having that wait for the invitation as a curse. It's really a gift. It like reminds us like how to not people please, how to really devote ourselves to what we love and turn our lighthouse light on. And through that beautiful magic and passion, we attract what's meant for us. The final element of this movie called life are the reflectors. This makes reflectors the movie screen. The reflectors are like the actual movie screen having like everything reflect on it. And like I said earlier, you know, when you interact with the reflector, they can give you so much wisdom because they're really just a more obvious reflective mirror for yourself. I think everyone is a mirror for each other, you know, like I'll be honest, like I think in a larger sense beyond human design, I, Victor, personally believe like we're all mirrors for each other, but reflectors have this type to them where like they really are like a reflection for us to teach us a lot about them, but also to teach us a lot about ourselves.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder a lot when I'm hearing some of that terminology and that verbiage, but that was actually an excellent example, and I was like really into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the movie, and so even though these are the different energy types that society is broken into, similar to astrology, is it true that like we all kind of have all of these energies within us? It's just that these are the more prominent ones according to our birth charts.
I personally like to believe that. Like, I am like what I even know on a surface level about astrology and how even, you know, in astrology, we have multiple different systems, right? Like, and it goes beyond just like the houses. Like, we have like Eastern astrology, Western astrology. Like, there's different like alignments. There's a lot of differences here or there. And just like in human design, we have genes within us that are slightly more projector feeling or slightly more generator feeling, you know? And it's like you could be a reflector, for example, and have a little bit of a generator energy within you because you may have like the generator gene, you know, key for whatever kind of energy fuel or whatever, you know? And I personally, like, you know, if someone wants to come at me about this and disagree with me, please do. But like, I like to really believe, especially in that like open Ayurvedic kind of way, like all of these energies exist within us. All of these genes exist within us. It's just that some are more active, some are more dormant, or some are more prevalent, and some are maybe a little less than. Or, you know, thinking of it in those, or even in human design terminology, human design likes to use conscious and unconscious a lot, which is tricky for some people because they're like, well, if I learn about my unconscious traits, doesn't that make them conscious? It's like the point is not to make them conscious or unconscious. It's just that conscious means that it's like something you're aware of and something that's actively going. And then unconscious means maybe you're not always aware of it, but it's still happening behind the scenes, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, and it may come out in other different ways. I mean, we can like think of that as well, even in astrology, of thinking about, you know, with the different the planets transiting, or the different transits happening, what's going on cosmically and externally. You know, it's affecting and influencing these different parts of ourselves as well. And also, maybe, you know, we could be very much so I'll use you an example. You know, you could be very much so a Leo, or you could be born right in the middle of Leo season. You could have all these Leo characteristics about you, but, you know, other things are influencing other parts of you as well. And so you're always going to have these other energies at play as well. I don't know. I like to think of it that way. Like, one of the parts of human design that I find very valuable for anyone that is also piquing an interest, in human design based on what we're talking about. Your incarnation cross is like your life purpose or your dharma. I like to think of it in those kinds of ways because it's like your mission. It's composed of your sun and your earth signs in human design, similar to astrology, and mine is all about reminding people like there's not just one way of doing things, and there's so much magic and more outside of the box. Like, we should never limit ourselves to 4 sides, or limit our thinking, or limit ourselves into a box when there's always another way of doing something, or there's like always more to, under the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's always so much more. And it's a very creative and artistic incarnation cross as well, because I, as the multidisciplinary artist that I am always, I feel like, preaching or showcasing in some kind of way that people can be wild and messy and make mistakes or try things differently, or like never have to settle for one way of doing something or painting something, for example,
What exactly is a gene key?
So a gene key it's connected to these chemical compounds in our DNA, and it's genetic coding that's connected to like behaviors that we have, or emotions or experiences in our life. So you can it's also connected to amino acids and all different types of amino acids. I am by no means a scientist. However, when you read like the Gene Keys book, for example, or when you start exploring gene keys versus human design gates, which when you look at a human design body graph, like all those numbers, those are all gates, and those are connected to the gene keys. So there's 64 gates and 64 gene keys, and so they're associated to different behaviors, or different behaviors or characteristics of ourselves as humans, that have been studied and connected to either different elements or different biological components, like our organs or amino acids, or other parts of ourselves. Great question.
Well, I've heard the term used a lot, and then I'm like, well, what is that? And then there's not like a direct explanation that's come in the past, and I guess it's because there's so many, and they connect to these different design gates, and that's a lot, and it makes me want to just go and find out all of this information and how to use it and open it up and how I'm supposed to eat. And like, I feel like you've done a really good job igniting the spark of how can we be more healthy, how can we understand ourselves more, and how can we use what we know about our personalities in order to fulfill our life's mission.
Yeah.
I feel like that's everything you just did.
Amen. It's amen. But and that's what just makes so much more sense to me about my own personal mission. It's like everything that you just said. It's like everything that I see in my day to day now is that like it goes we all already know that there are so many, like, there's not one shoe that fits everyone's foot in terms of healing or processing trauma, or learning about ourselves, or falling in love with ourselves, or interacting with others. There's not one way to do any of that. We're all figuring out our own ways, or learning what techniques work, or what coaches are really inspiring us and really helping us get into our own, routines and self-care and behaviors. But I that's all I can wish and pray for, is that I continue to stand for everything that you just said, and I continue to share and remind with others that, like, it's a fun, wild ride. Like, this is a multi-level, multidisciplinary life that we are living. So, of course, like, everything else is going to be just as multi-layered. And there's never going to be one way to do anything. And our breath is a wonderful example of that too. Like, our breath is the beginning and the end, but it's prana, it's life force. We come into this world taking our first inhale, we leave this world taking our last exhale, and the breath is the easiest and fastest way to heal and regenerate our bodies. And we take it for granted all the time because we're living these lives with micro stresses, and we're breathing through our mouths and panting like dogs more than anything, instead of just breathing softly through our nose. But our breath, there are three phenomenally fast and easy ways to heal your body, regenerate your cells, literally transmute energy and transmute trauma, and it's with your breath. And it's nose breathing, breath holds, and controlled mouth breathing, like holotropic breathing or sonic neural. And I'd love to dive deeper into that right now, but it's like that. I do stand for everything you said, and I love that I am able to continuously share more and more of this as I continue learning more of this, as I continue experiencing as much of life as any of you, right? And it's honestly a blessing that it's a blessing to be alive. What can I say?
And it's so funny that you went to that, because I was just thinking, well, we have to also hit on breath work. Number one, that's actually what drew me to you and your page and everything, was because you specifically do a lot of sonic neural breathing that I've seen, and it feels so good. And I was like, okay,
So
who's
good.
this person? I see that projector, but then also, just true to your name, Victory Breathing, we have to touch on the breathing. And so what makes sonic neural breath specifically different than other types of breath work?
Sure. So sonic neural breath work is a holotropic style breath work. And holotropic means that you're using controlled mouth breathing, as well as, other techniques, like maybe some nostril breathing, maybe some breath holding, but really focusing on this controlled mouth breathing, because you're putting your body into a purposeful, conscious hormesis process. And hormesis is when you think of like going to the gym and you're like actively pumping and working out and straining your muscles and your body in order to strengthen it. Like, you're putting your body into that fight or flight mode response on purpose to strengthen it. That's hormesis. And holotropic breathing, like sonic neural, is an example of that technique of putting your body into this purposeful hormesis in order to release chemicals that are found to be released in our lungs and our pineal gland that give you this euphoric and transformational, transcendental experience without ingesting anything and without the use of plant medicine. And you're having this like almost life-changing, like euphoric, mental, like deep meditative experience, but you're also helping your body, specifically your nervous system and your fascia, releasing trauma and trapped and stored emotions. And so why I love sonic neural breath work so much is that it also, on top of all that, uses theta music and light. I've integrated light language into my sonic neurals. And so it's this insanely powerful usage of our own breath in combination with auditory healing and theta music and light language to not only put your body into this mentally stimulating transcendental state without plant medicine, but also helps your nervous system and fascia release what it needs to release. And before I let you speak, I just want to touch really quickly too on the 3 points that I made a second ago, and those 3 insanely easy and rapid ways to heal and regenerate our bodies. And nose breathing is the top one. Nose breathing has 2 different sides to it. We have more relaxing nostril breathing techniques like Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, or Ujjayi breath, breath of victory, where you're breathing in and out through your nose, feeling a slight constriction in the back of your throat, and just creating that Ujjayi breath. And then you have more activating breath, nostril breathing techniques, putting your body into that perpetual fight or flight, that perpetual or purposeful hormesis, like Bhastrika Pranayama. Bhastrika Pranayama uses your diaphragm and undulation and organ movement along with very rapid nostril breathing techniques. Some people might associate it to hyperventilation, but it's just a rapid nostril breathing technique that stimulates and activates your body. The second easy and insanely powerful way to heal and regenerate your body with your breath is actually with breath holds. We have so much information coming out about it right now, about it literally regenerating your stem cells. So you are literally regenerating your body on a cellular level by simply holding your breath for 30 to 60 seconds. I promise you, it works. Try it out. It's wild what the body can do while putting your body into that forced that hormesis, that purposeful fight or flight mode response, because your body literally starts healing and regenerating as a form to combat that state that it's unsure about. It's like you're holding your breath, and so you're putting your body into fight or flight because your body is like, what's going on? Why is he holding his breath? What do we have to do? What do we have to protect from? It's going to start regenerating your cells. It's going to start protecting you, healing you, regenerating your body. And then the third and final one, which we were just talking about, the third and final easy and rapid way to heal and regenerate your body with your breath is through controlled mouth breathing. Now, in our day-to-day, yes, we want to move more into nose breathing than mouth breathing, because when we're panting like dogs, we're drying out our mouths, we're snoring more, we're agitating our bodies more, putting our bodies into more stress, depression, panting kind of states. But in a controlled setting, in a safe environment, with holotropic breathing that combines controlled mouth breathing techniques, possibly nose breathing and breath holds as well, along with occasional theta music sound waves or light language like I do in my sonic neurals. These are ways that this combination of things in a holotropic style, in a sonic neural controlled breathwork setting, is the key to truly transmuting some wild stuff that we store in our fascia and our nervous systems. Like, as you already know, speaking with Kai a little bit, and as many of us know who have been exploring these different breathwork techniques, these different breathwork styles that have been taught, for millennia and over the ages, there's not one shoe that fits all. Like, there's so many different options and ways to breathe through your nose, to hold your breath, and to do controlled mouth breathing that, like, sky's the limit. Like, it's like, or sky's not the limit, or sky is limitless. Like, no limit. There's no limit. It's like the unlimited possibilities, truly.
I feel I don't often feel this way. I occasionally feel this way, that after this discussion, I feel like I have a lot of work to do.
Don't we all?
I don't always feel that way after a discussion, but in this case, I do. I'm like, wow, I have a lot to do. I have a lot of breathing to do, a lot of learning to do. So this is great. You actually packed so much
We
information
did. We did.
into this like container. So it's like containers don't exist. And I don't know if this is in your human design chart, but I also feel like Victor's a mind reader.
I yes,
I
yes.
feel like every time I've thought of something, he's like, all right now. And then he started to say it. You guys picked up that one time where he's like, before you say anything, because he knew I was about to say something.
Amen. No, I have a great relationship with the Claires. So I am a very well-rounded spiritual and mental guy myself. So yeah.
It's been so great having you on, and you really
Thank
shared
you.
so much information that I think we can apply, that we need, that will actually guide us to seek that even further from you. Is there anything you have going on that you want people to know about, or anything that you just want people to know about you?
Yeah, more than anything, what's alive in my life and in my heart right now is doing anything and everything that I can to continue building and growing Victory Breathing and continue growing this beautiful community of energies that I have already been cultivating for so long now and that I continue to cultivate. And please check out that link of mine and stay in touch with me if I've piqued your interest in any kind of way. I have local events in Florida coming up, really not just in South Florida here in Miami where I live, but also coming up elsewhere. I do travel a lot and I have personal clients all over the place. So don't hesitate if you're on the other side of the planet and you're like, wow, like I really want to reach out to Victor. There are those links where you can book a call with me. We can talk about what we can do for you. I have some amazing healing tribes that I would love for you to be a part of as well, if that piques your interest. And at the end of the day, I just want all of you to remember to love yourselves and put yourselves first above anything, because you are creating your life. You are blinking your eyes open at the start of your day. No one else is doing that for you. And because you are the most powerful, energetic being and creator in your personal realm, you can do anything. And we all have emotions passing through us momentarily, temporarily. Don't claim any of it. Allow it to move through you. If you're scared of something, like, know that it's helping you to rethink something, reconsider something, look at something in a different way. And at the end of the day, take the leap and try new things and stay beautiful and artistic and victorious, because you are all victors. None of you are victims. We are all born victors.
Thank you so much, Victor. That was very heartwarming and touching. And maybe we'll get to see you again sometime soon with some more stuff going on.
Yes, please. I look forward to that. Have a wonderful day, Mary.
Thanks so much for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.